I'm going to do my best to cover this topic without regurgitating material that I use in my other show, my new joint show that I do with SK from Purple and Scold, as well as Rap from Vocal Vike. It's called Purple Parlor. You can just search Purple Parlor Vikings on YouTube and you'll find us there. But the Brian Flores Tua Tagovailoa drama, when Flores was the head coach over in Miami for Tua's first 2 years out of Alabama. This isn't new information. This has been covered multiple times on this channel alone ever since B-Flow arrived to Minnesota. But this has also been widely covered in Miami by the Miami Herald, among others. But whenever Tua brings it up, it resurfaces and recycles all across social media. But essentially what Tua said is, imagine if you have a coach that every day tells you that you're awful and you're horrible, and whether it's true or not, eventually, because we're all human, eventually you start to believe it. That's essentially what Tua said in his interview with Dan Le Batard, Stu Gatz, and Chris Cody. And I'm not here to take a side on that debate. If you're interested, that's all well and good. Whether you want to take the stance of, Tua is the latest example of this soft-ass generation that believes they deserve everything without having to put in all the work necessary to get that everything. Or B, Brian Flores clearly doesn't have the leadership skills necessary to lead an entire group of 53 players on a team's roster, D coordinator, assistant coach at best for him. I'm not here to do that. I am surprised, however, that the societal norms, the latest societal norms that can be found literally anywhere else in corporate America, have somehow, some way breached its way into the NFL locker rooms, where I thought this is the when it comes to sports, this is the holy grail. This is the sanctuary. All that stuff from the outside don't matter in here. This is football. That's not the case now. It's no longer about whether you're right or wrong. And if you feel like you're right, proving how right you are. It's not about whether you're right or wrong anymore. It's about how you are perceived. Example, probably the biggest bane of my existence are slow drivers in the left lane. I can't really say on this channel what I wish for those people that drive slow in the left lane, because I don't want to get flagged for suggesting something heinous. I can't stand those people. But what am I going to do? Am I going to ride their bumper and throw up the finger and cuss them out and do all this stuff and challenge the driver to a fight? Because really, you shouldn't be over here. This is the passing lane. Get your slow ass over to the right. I'm right in this argument. But guess what? Acting a fool, how I look when others are seeing it, I'm the one that's probably going to get arrested. It's how you are perceived. It reminds me of The Wire, where Bodie was going off about the old days. Man, if back in the old days we used to do this and this. And Slim Charles said, yeah, well, the thing is about the old days is that they're the old days. Feeding your pride will inevitably defeat you one way or another. And sticking on the side of Brian Flores, I think there's been enough reporting on Flores' previous relationship with Tua, with Dolphins players, that I think there is some substance there that maybe Flores failed to realize. Hey, you can't just talk to every player the same way. You can't. We all come from different walks of life. Player A will absorb what you say differently compared to player B if you give that same message. And I think he comes from that old school way of coaching. Look Look at Bill Belichick, for example. This is arguably, if not definitely, the best coach of all time. The greatest coach in NFL history. Has what, 6 Super Bowl titles? And I thought with him leaving New England, okay, wherever he interviews at, either way, he's going to have his pick of the litter. Certainly he's going to Atlanta. And then it comes out, in part to Robert Kraft being a little sneak, going around saying, hey, actually, I don't trust Bill Belichick. But combined with the fact that, oh, maybe he's mean and maybe, I don't know. So now the only way you can find your way back into the league as a head coach is you better get out on the media drive and show how nice you are and maybe give off a little smile and then say, yeah, the rings are nice and all, but look at the personality. I like what I saw on camera. Let's go ahead and give you another shot. That's the game that you have to play. You can't just, the whole feeding the pride thing, it reminds me of Les Brown, a motivational speaker, who says some people would rather get even than get ahead. And I think Brian Flores, today, his response to the whole Tua thing was perfect. Even if he thinks that Tua is in the wrong, he did the right thing. It's how you're perceived. His quote today, one of the quotes today, responding to Tua, calling him a, quote, terrible person. This from Flores. Quote, look, I'm human. That hit me in a way that I wouldn't say was positive. I've got to use that and say, how can I grow from that? How can I be better? Excellent. That's exactly how you should do it. Because now, whether you feel like Tua was right or wrong, you can at least start to repair your image across the rest of the league. I don't know if, I seriously doubt he'll get another head coaching job with these rumors spreading around and then the pending lawsuit he has with the league. I'm not sure, but in a way it works out for the Vikings where it's like, yeah, we'll gladly keep him as a D coordinator. No one else wants him? Great. We'll keep him here as long as he wants to until he decides he wants to retire. But I think this was a good step. I do like the fact that with, I think it was Josh Metellus as well as Harrison Phillips that stood behind Flores during his presser, at least to start it. And Metellus said, we're here to show that we have his support. So even despite all of the turmoil of his head coaching tenure in Miami, it doesn't affect how the Vikings players feel about him right now. And I think that's so important. I think this was a good step for him, that he can maybe get better in his communication style. Because if he is going to be interviewed for a head coaching job in the future, he's going to have to address all of this all over again. And he's going to have to explain why he's not that guy that he was in 20 and 21 in Miami. But you gotta, it's evolution, man. You gotta get with the times and adapt to the current situation of the world. I can't imagine being a DJ today in the present with all these whack-ass songs that come out by these so-called rap artists with names like Ocean Coastin' 43 and Crabgrass 212, putting out these dumbass songs. It's like I couldn't do it. And guess what? Because of my hatred for this new generation of rap music, if I ever was a DJ, I couldn't be a DJ unless I adapted. Because guess what? In the clubs where your market, your audience are young 20 to early 30-year-olds, majority of them anyway, they want to listen to this stupid crap. So guess what? You got to play it or you won't get any business. You better look to do something else. Better be better go back to school, be a nurse, go be a barber, do something. A carpenter. But this was a good step. Brian Flores, if he's blackballed from a head coaching job, don't worry. National Football League, we'll take it off your hands. We got this.